Welcome to Sex Ed with DB. I'm your host, DB. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast. If you love and support the work that we do, consider joining my crew on Patreon to win amazing prizes like our adorable merch, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and incredible sex toys. Go to patreon.com/sexedwithdb to join my crew. Get discounts at all of your favorite sex toy shops at sexedwithdb.com. And follow us on Insta at sexedwithdb podcast and on TikTok at sexedwithdb. If you want to partner with us, email us at sexedwithdb@gmail.com. Let's talk about a lube I absolutely love, Uberlube. Uberlube makes sex better for everyone by reducing friction, increasing pleasure. Whether you're using it for solo sex time, sex with a partner, or both, Uberlube has a long-lasting performance that lets skin feel skin. It has simple, body and condom-friendly ingredients, is scent and color-free, dissipates when no longer needed so there's no sticky residue, and is recommended by leading doctors. Use code SEXEDWITHDB for 15% off at uberlube.com. If you've been a longtime fan of Sex Ed with DB, you've definitely heard of Clone-A-Willy. But if you're new here, let me fill you in. Clone-A-Willy makes incredible DIY molding kits that allow anyone to make an exact replica of any penis or vulva into a high-quality, 100% body-safe sex toy. And there are so many fun colors to choose from. Use promo code SEXEDWITHDB20 for 20% off at cloneawilly.com. And follow them on Instagram at CloneAWillyKit. We talk a lot about sex ed, but when we're shopping for products to support our sexual wellness, exploration, and expression, we head to the experts at Lion's Den. Lion's Den is an adult retailer with 46 locations nationwide and hundreds of your favorite brands. They have everything you need to explore and express your sexual side. Right now, you can use code SEXEDWITHDB for 15% off your purchase in-store and online. Follow them on social media at Lion's Den Adult on IG and TikTok for exclusive offers, deals, and giveaways. Simone and Isabella, hello.
Hello.
Hello, DB. What a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely, the pleasure is mine. Really so glad to have you both on. Before we started recording, I was saying how funny it is when you're fangirling over people and when you, in your daily life, are scrolling and then see people's content who you genuinely laugh on the ground about because it's so fucking funny. So I love your show and I'm a big fan. So thank you for coming on the podcast.
That is so sweet and so kind. Sweet. Thank you so much. That means the world to us.
It does. It's very hard to hear someone be like, we really love your content, because immediately I'm like, they're lying. They are lying.
Simone.
No one likes you.
They're
Literally
tricking.
No one likes you. You're not funny. Me, just speaking about myself, I'm like, this is all fake. But me and my therapist will talk about that at a later time.
A very critical, important note is go see a therapist, listener. If you haven't, if you don't, wow, really good. Really important to remind people that therapy's for everybody, and we should all be in therapy for the rest of our lives.
Yes, try your best. It's not as affordable. It's not easy to get, but through your insurance, maybe.
Sure.
Perfect transition, you guys. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. I'm kidding. It's not.
It is. It's sponsored by BetterHelp.
But
we just decided.
We emailed BetterHelp. Hey, you guys. We decided that you guys have sponsored us.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they're like, I'm so sorry. We've never met you in our whole lives. Yeah. I'm like, no, we're on your front page of your website.
Yeah. I'm like, why are you lying?
Not true.
Gaslighting.
It was gaslighting.
Yeah. I'm going to need to see a BetterHelp therapist about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gaslight me.
This is going to be very good. You're in for a ride, whoever's listening to this right now. Let's have you all introduce yourselves. Who are you? Tell us about your incredibly wild and hilarious show, Swipe Talk.
Sure. Simone, do you want to take it away?
Sure. So my name is Simone. I'm one of the hosts of Swipe Talk.
Yeah. Yay. And hello, I'm Isabella. I am the other host of Swipe Talk. And what is Swipe Talk? you're wondering. I'm sure. I mean,
on the
you
edge of
aren't
your
because
seat.
you're already like, oh my God, this is the biggest show ever. Of course I know what Swipe Talk
Of course
is.
I know them.
But in case, God forbid, you live under a little rock like Patrick, me never having ever referenced the show SpongeBob.
I know, I was
like Patrick.
Great
but
reference. I have
thank
seen
you.
SpongeBob in my day, and that is what
Cultured
Patrick does.
That is what
He is
Patrick
under
does
a
when he lives
rock.
under a rock.
Correct.
Thank you.
He does.
It is a Snapchat, TikTok short form series where we review, we giggle about the plights of the dating world, the modern dating world, whether that be through dating app culture, looking at messages, profiles, DMs, reviewing it, giggling, having a fun laugh, because you know what? We're all trying to find love in this nutty little world. And
In an
it's
unhopeful place, maybe.
Yes, in an unhopeful time.
Yeah.
So what better thing to do than unite us all through the giggles, make you feel less alone, and make you feel like this isn't so serious, everybody. We're gonna find it being love.
And our biggest thing is talking about how it's not you, it's your profile, because some people don't understand how they're coming across. And I'm sure we'll get into like our pet peeves and like the things that we hate seeing. But some people genuinely do not understand how they're coming across. And we're just here to be like, hey, bae, no. We're gonna like change that.
So many people message us too, being like, can you review my profile? Because a lot of people, when we first started the show, were like,
they crave it.
Like, we're so angry at us. And we're like, stop reviewing these profiles. You're so evil. Which, by the way, we're not evil. We're giggling. You guys were giggling together. We're not giggling at you. We're giggling with you. It's not you that we're laughing at ever. We're laughing at the profile. We're laughing at a message. We know you don't mean it. So we're laughing all together so we can fix it. But people are like, please review my profile. I'm not giving out the energy I think I want to be, or you know, I don't know what to say in the messages, and I get it.
Also, I also
away,
feel
gorgeous.
like just a general lesson in life is like, if you get so deeply offended at something that isn't like, you know, like something that's like racist, homophobic, like, you know, the isms, right? If you get so deeply, the isms, thank you. If you get that deeply offended, it's probably because you're a part of it and you're irritated. So like, if you see us reviewing someone's profile and you know that you have a bio that's like, here for a good time, not a long time. And we're like, no. Then
love in your way to the top.
Love. Or like, I guess another common one on the women's side is like, if you're looking for, it was like, if you're looking for someone that's a bad girl, that's good because I'm bad at everything. I guess that's a really
that is a common one.
And it's just like, and it's like if it's common, or if you're doing the thing that we're talking about, you know, you can choose to just do exactly what you're doing still. Like it's fine. Or you can change it. It's just a dating profile, y'all. Like,
that's the important thing, because a lot of times, not always, but sometimes people aren't able to see other people that are on the apps. So it's all either you're in a relationship, you've never been on the apps, you know, you're a girl that only sees men on your profile. So now you're finally seeing girl profiles, or you're a guy that doesn't see other men on your profiles, and you're seeing what other men are putting out there.
It's a new POV. Completely.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're finally getting different perspective on the dating world. But yeah, it's important in life to laugh at yourself and not take things so personally. No.
Completely.
And
yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I also like, you two are very clearly like thick as thieves, like tit for tat. You have a lot of good chemistry. So I want to know, like, what inspired the show? Like, how do you know each other? Like, what was the very beginning of Swipe Talk?
This is a love story, and we tell this love story all the time. Yeah. So at first we used to lie. Now we don't. Now we tell our truth.
Now we tell our truth.
Do you want to tell them the truth?
I'll tell our truth.
Tell our truth.
This was a show that was planned by this gorgeous company called Good Content Media, or Good Content. It's actually called Good Content.
You just learned that it's not Good Content Media.
The website says Good Content Media, but apparently that was just like for shits and giggles. It's actually
they don't even know their name.
No, he does. We went through a whole rebirth. We just went through a whole website redesign. It was this whole thing. We talked to our boss about it. We're better now. But the point is that Good Content
but they created the show.
Yeah,
they created the show, and they basically interviewed a bunch of different people and like came to us being like different things, trying different pairs, trying different matches. And then when they got this one, they were like, oh, this will work.
First of all, Isabella is downplaying herself. What actually happened is that Isabella was always slotted to be one of the hosts. And so they kept on going through people trying to figure out who would match her well. And it's funny because when I got the email, first of all, I was like, well, this isn't real. They're going to try to sex traffic me via email. That didn't happen. I'm still here. But I emailed back
via Zoom call.
Via Zoom. They're like, get in this car. They sucked me in. So I ended up like having my personal interview with the producers. And then I had a chemistry call. Before I got on the chemistry call, I was talking to my friends and family, like, yeah, they keep on saying that they like need somebody to, like, balance this girl out. Like, I guess that like the girl must be like really quiet and like really like normal, and like I'm the spicy one. And then I got on that call and I was woefully
mistaken.
Mistaken. I said, oh,
you're the balance.
I'm the calm one. I'm the one. And then when I am the one sent into calm things, that like my entire family was looking at me like, you effing nut, you're the one that's gonna bring things down.
So like something like it was raised way up from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like this every single
always. And we always say that we're always like, the producers really didn't know what they were getting when they signed on for the both of us. We're like, they just got lucky because they liked what really drew them in about us wasn't even necessarily our chemistry, which continued now forever and ever. But like at the beginning, I think it was really that we had such drastically different opinions and tastes, and like almost any topic that you'd bring up, minus witchcraft and wizardry, we would be completely
opposite from our types, the types of profiles that we like. Everything was so different. And what's interesting about that is that most
the same
things
values.
with co-hosts, the same morals. I would have never, neither one of us would have ever agreed to do the show if it was like Isabella's like, I'm sorry guys, but white supremacy.
Big yikes.
Guys, hot take, white supremacy.
Like neither one of us would have agreed to do the show if it was something like that. So we have the same moral code. Totally. Everything else, like every single subject they would bring up, and we're like, you feel that way? I literally feel the exact opposite way, but my ears open. And like one thing I love, I love a lot of things about Isabella, but the thing that I've always valued so much about the girl is that she is so am I allowed to cuss? I'm sorry,
yes, please.
Okay. She's so fucking funny. And she like pushes me to be like more, not risky, but just like more myself than I've ever felt like I could be like online, because she's so herself that like, I don't know. She's made me funnier. She's made me a funnier person and just like lighter, like airier.
That's so sweet.
Okay, well, and on the other end, because I was just talking about this, and it's so funny because someone literally, because I am talking about Simone constantly because I am obsessed with her, and someone the other day was literally like, did you know what you were signing up for when they signed on Simone as your co-host? Like, did you understand that this was going to be like a real important relationship in your life? And I was like, no. And I was saying that like something that's so wonderful about our differences and everything, something that is so respectable about Simone is she's such like a deep human being who's like gonna call out bullshit when she sees it, and she's gonna say what's up. Like, it's such a healthy thing that I don't have in literally any of my other relationships. Like, she is so brutally honest, and it's so important in any healthy relationship, but especially to have that in a working relationship where if she's like, yes. And I have literally quoted this over and over again. If we're like doing an interview and she'll turn to me and be like, Isabella, I know you're really nervous right now. You keep interrupting me. So I need you to take a breath, because if you don't, later on, when you realize that you were doing it, you're going to be so upset and mad at yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel so guilty and shitty, and it's not worth it. So let's just take a breath now. It's going to feel awkward in this moment, me telling you to shut the fuck up. And you're going to feel awkward, and you're going to be like, crap. But then it's over. And I'm wow, what a unique, rare quality to find in someone that I'm hoping to pick up on soon. I'm still not brave enough, but it's like so admirable. And I never have to worry about my relationship with Simone ever, and like where our partnership will go, because it is so honest. And I believe that we can work through anything, and like we're a team.
Oh my God. Wow. I hope that you all understand that that was a review of each other. And it was very nice. So I'm sure you're really used to reviewing other people, and then being able to like be self-aware in your own relationships is very, very special and important. So good on you and good on your producers for finding two people who really click together and make serious magic.
I know.
Because there is so much good about this show. I think like for me, as I was watching, there are a couple things that really like stood out. One was your chemistry and the way that you each go back and forth when you're reviewing something. It's so funny, so interesting, really, really unique in your approach. And the editing is one of the wildest things I have ever seen. I want to know, like, could you describe the editing really quick for someone who hasn't seen it? And like, how long does this take? It's so intricate. Like, tell me a little bit more about like the process, because that's a huge part of your show, I would say.
Huge.
Yeah. The editing is like a third character, kind of.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, start off very, very early in this process. Simone and I definitely had ideas for what we want, and it took a while to get to where we are today, editing style wise. We had a few editors along the way. My biggest inspiration that I kept like pulling up was the little show with Trixie and Katya, the drag queen.
Little show them.
I know, the little show. I didn't mean little show. I meant like short form show, because they have like a long form podcast. They're on RuPaul's Drag Race. I didn't mean little in that it's not huge. I meant little in length of time. It's on YouTube. But I'm obsessed with them. They're my everything. And it was a huge inspiration, their editing style. It's very, very quick. A lot of zooms, a lot of like meme toss-ins, some like animation cutouts. It's very, very, very creative and incredible. And so that process, I don't know if Simone, if you want me to explain the long form to the short form and the whole...
I was going to say also, if you don't know, then imagine like a less intense form of how Emma Chamberlain used to edit her content, but like more like memes, because I feel like that whole, like, there was like an era in like 2000, like 18 and 19 where those, I could not watch some creators' videos because it was like, how
fast, so quick.
Fast, so many zooms, so many this, that, so many like weird audio edits and like screams and this and that. And I'm just like, imagine that, but like so toned down. And then like when a lot of pop culture references, but like not so much that like any age couldn't watch it and still like be like, ha ha ha.
Right. It's like, do you ever watch like, sometimes I watch like the Twitter meme reaction, just those videos, and it's all like really niche, like the sound of like slurping and then like a little like cultural reference. And it's so funny because that's the direction in which our entertainment is going towards, because of TikTok, because of everything that we have. It's so short form, and to like capture the attention, it's so quick. And that's why fewer and fewer people are able to like watch a full movie. And I'm so interested, how that's going to affect. Sad, but also exciting, because I'm excited to see like the films that will be coming to capture this short form entertainment. Like, I wonder if there'll be, more plots, faster moving, I don't know. But
have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Isabella and I have to. We need to literally like sit on the computer and like FaceTime on mute and watch it.
We've been waiting. We know that it's
going to be, because this is our moment. I'm not going to spoil it for people, but it very much has that quality of kind of like, oh wow, like literally Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? Where it's like quick things, a lot of action, like a lot of costumes and like, soundscapes and just like a lot of things that you're like kind of keeping track of in this like metaverse universe. It's very, very cool. You guys are absolutely going to love it.
Yeah, but I know we will.
Back to the show.
Sorry.
I'll make it quick. Yeah. Okay, so
go ahead.
Basically, we chat. We film like an hour because we are chatty Cathys. We film an hour. Then our gorgeous, incredible Claire, who's one of our editors, very, very talented, very, very beautiful, cuts it down to like a 20-minute, 16-minute cut. And that's we have a platform called Swipe Talk TV that you can pay $4 a month and see the extended cuts every month. So she does that. She cuts it down to a tight, which is amazing that she's able to take us. As you see, we run, we go on tangents, cut it into a conversation that people can follow logically without us being like, cuts it down. Yeah. Then we hand that edit to our little baby, Michael Galligan.
We love him
We love Michael.
much.
And we love Claire too. We
love our editors.
We love both of them so much. Okay. And then Michael takes 16-minute cuts it down quippy fast to little guys, to like a 6-minute cut. And then this is where the magic starts.
People don't know this.
People don't know this.
Yeah.
People don't know this. They say amazing edits. Then we take the 6-minute cut. They send it to Simone, me, and our producer. And we go through it and we comment on every second, every whatever, being like, add this meme, add this edit, add this whatever.
So you very much impact the editing of it.
It's 3 geniuses putting their brains together and then just like coming up with crazy concepts, being like, what if here we had a background flying in the sky? I know that's crazy, Michael, but I'm tossing it out there. And we just throw out whatever.
He is so good. One of my favorite things.
One hand on the keyboard, one hand to the Lord.
To God. And he does it. What we always say about our editors, Claire is a beautiful storyteller. She can take all of our stuff and construct it into a beautiful story. Like she's very much like, she could edit the hell out of a YouTube video, like the hell out of probably like a documentary. Like Claire would eat that shit.
Yeah.
Michael thrives with he's a comedian. Like literally we were on our meeting yesterday and he goes, we were like, Michael, where are you driving off to? He goes, I don't really want to say. And we were like, what? And he was like, I'm going to an improv class.
Which is awesome.
It's so good.
We support improv artists, we just love we love to bully our friend
to pick with Michael.
We love to pick with Michael. Yeah.
But
he's very talented. Everyone should look about Michael Galligan. He does comedy.
Yes. Yeah. The way that he takes what's in our brains, because we'll put flying basset hound. One of my favorite edits that he's personally ever done. It was the Kendall Jenner Coke moment, and what was the other?
That was my idea.
It was the Kendall Jenner, but mine came right before it. It was the Michael Jackson. We Are the World. I think that we should put the. Yeah. I think that we should put the Michael Jackson We Are the World video 50%. Literally, our details our edits are that detailed. Like the Michael Jackson We Are the World video from this minute to this minute, 50% opacity while it's singing. And then Isabella will come behind me because we leave our notes at 2 separate times. So I never know what Isabella says. So she came in and was like, throw in the Kylie Jenner Pepsi handshake.
Genius.
Right.
One of them.
Yeah.
And he
doesn't matter.
When I saw that edit, I said, Michael can never leave us. Like
I know the edit. There's an edit on the episode that's coming out today with TikToker Lockie McIntyre.
So good.
Did you see the edit
the questions?
Of shrimp on the Barbie walking up a road?
No, it was when Lockie was talking about how we were trying to see if Lockie knew where the clitoris was. If you haven't seen this episode,
I didn't watch that part. I didn't watch that part.
He literally, I forget, we got to it eventually, child. But he turned it into, because I drew a very bare bones of a vagina, which was literally 2 parentheses and a line down the middle. And then Isabella pulled up a full diagram and he's pointing out what he thinks is what. And our editor literally put the background, I forget what show it is.
No,
it's a very iconic show.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who Wants to Be a Freaking Millionaire?
Oh, with Regis Philbin?
Every time he makes a guess, he literally, did you? See, and that's the thing. Half of this stuff, I'm I don't know
what. The thing. But that's the thing. I said, put in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music. Did I say put options? No. He takes me and Simone's polar opposite ideas and he brings them together and he raises them far past our ever.
Yes.
Wow.
Us going on a tangent for 20 minutes about our editor.
I know.
We genuinely love them.
We love
them.
That's
amazing. It's a big part of your show, so it's so important. Close your eyes and think of your ideal sex toy. No matter what you like, you'll find it at Fun Factory. A few things Fun Factory's toys all have in common. They're 100% body safe, so your mind is free to focus on fun. They include sex educator design games to get you going. And they're made in Germany, meaning they're long-lasting. You get more O's from your toy when it stays in your nightstand and out of the landfill. Follow Fun Factory on IG at Fun Factory USA and use code SEXEDWITHDB for 15% off your new favorite German vibe. In a world that constantly encourages you to change, it's bold to just be yourself. Sexual expression and satisfaction are different for everybody, so rather than conforming to others, focus on falling in love with who you are. Lion's Den sources the very best products to help you find what you like and help you feel confident expressing your sexual desires. You can get 15% off in-store and online using code SEXEDWITHDB to begin exploring everything about yourself. Follow Lion's Den on social at Lion's Den Adult on Instagram and TikTok.
And I was going to ask you, DB, speaking of finding the clitoris, sexual education.
Sure.
May I ask you not to switch hats in a way?
Happy to.
How did you start this podcast? Were you a sexual educator to begin with? Like, how did this begin for you?
Very, very fun because guests rarely in the middle of our interview or even in the beginning or in the end are like, tell me about you. But this is good. This is good.
Right. Barbara
So basically, like, back the truck up to 2014, where I had just graduated from college.
May we say where?
UC Berkeley. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Thank you very much. And long story short, I went abroad to teach English in Israel for a year because I wanted to go teach and didn't know what I wanted to do right after college. I studied film and media in college, and then I minored in education, really cared about storytelling and teaching young people. And, I thought I wanted to do like documentary for like social change. I was like, I'm going to change the world one documentary at a time, not knowing at all what any of those roles are in those jobs.
Right.
But I had a really wild sexist encounter with an Orthodox rabbi in Israel. Where my teaching community went to like a really religious community for a field trip in Jerusalem. And my teaching cohort went there, and the rabbi was like, here's my temple, here are my traditions. Let me tell you about what we do here and blah, blah, blah. And he kind of offhandedly was like, I have 5 daughters, and when each of them reach the age of 17 or 18, we marry them off by the matchmaker, and they don't learn about sex until they have it for the first time on their wedding night. And last thing, pray to God, pray to Hashem that they get pregnant on that night. Yeah. So he kind of said all of those things, and in my 21-year-old very angry body that I couldn't control, still can't, almost 30 in December. Raised my hand and was like so scared and really nervous, but no one fucking said anything. And I was like, what about what they want? What about like their bodies and their like what about them?
Brand new concept.
Yeah, crazy. And he kind of like, did this with his hand. He like threw me a little like arm wave and was like, that's just how it goes here. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, I want to do like sexual health for my life work. 2016 rolls around, Trump becomes president, and I'm like, I'm for sure doubling down on this dream now because this is dangerous for so many people, namely queer people and BIPOC folks and people who are in marginalized communities. And so I started the podcast 5 years ago this June.
Wow.
And thank you so much. Almost. And I decided I wanted a little bit more schooling. I ended up I moved back to New York from California because I went to Columbia for my master's of public health. Got a certificate in sexuality and reproductive health to really understand like how to write curriculum, how to teach sex ed in the classroom, how to understand how policies are impacting these, laws and how to really talk to people about that. And so, I started doing the podcast part-time for 4 years, and 8 months ago started doing it full-time. So now yeah, dude, it's pretty sick that I get to just
literally congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm lucky I get to, work with really great sponsors and interview really awesome guests just to learn about all these different facets of sexual health. There's so many things to talk about. That's my little story.
That's so
incredible.
wonderful.
I love that.
So
I
wonderful.
love that. That's so important as well.
Yeah. And it's one thing to it's one thing to know that something is like messed up, but then it's a completely other different thing to be like, okay, now I want to do something about it. Like you could have walked away from that experience and been like, well, that's never going to affect me. And unfortunately, that's the way that a lot of the world works. Like, it's just like, well, it doesn't affect me, so I don't really care. As opposed to being like, no, this is like a human thing. Like, and even if it doesn't affect me right now, what about my kids? Like, what about my grandkids? What about my family?
Also,
like,
it's so important that you know, had that experience outside of your like direct bubble as well, you know, like in Jerusalem or somewhere else, because, you know, like I am constantly, you know, reminded, because someone tweeted the other day, or someone said something the other day, me getting my like takes from Twitter. It was something about like how like someone was saying like, oh, like, well, the world's so liberal these days or something like that. And someone was like, where? Like, genuinely, it's probably just the bubble that you're in.
That you are in.
Actually, the majority of the world is conservative, if not more conservative than it's ever been. But it's so limited to our media, and media can be very isolating in that way because you're only seeing
your algorithm.
Similar takes to yourself, your algorithm, which is so dangerous. Elon Musk, fix it. Twitter.
Yikes. Yeah, right.
Scared.
Big yikes. Yeah.
But
totally. And something I learned in public health school actually is that like when you're challenged by you know, someone and said, oh, you know, what do you think is the most religious country in the world? Maybe your mind would go to, oh, maybe Italy or like maybe Russia. But the reality is actually that America is the most religious country in the world.
Wow.
Is it?
It is, yeah, with like Christianity. So I think that and that shows up in like, you know, surveys when you're talking about people with like the way that they, you know, but at the same time, like when you're actually looking at how people vote when it comes to abortion, a majority of Americans support abortion in many cases. So like, you know, there are these dichotomies. But I want to talk more about swipe talk. So let's get back on the road. Don't you apologize.
I know.
No, this is fantastic. And I would love to like have you guys on again in the future for a different episode.
That'll be next time.
Of course.
That'll be next time.
Changing the world.
But I want to know, like, tell me about some of the most wild dating profiles that you have ever encountered online.
Oh, it's hard because I feel like we've become completely desensitized.
So desensitized
to the point where our producer will be like, this wasn't a dating profile. It was something else. But it was literally an article about a woman being like on Quora. That's like,
I was like, are you saying in a quarry?
I know, that's what I wanted to say. It was this girl being like, my boyfriend would like to breastfeed off of my breasts. And I was like,
oh my.
And literally Isabella was like, oh no. Like she had like a bigger reaction than to me. I'm like, you know, sometimes that happens. Like that's, you know, I don't want to yuck somebody else.
Yeah, and I also want to say, even though I did have a shocked reaction, I then went, you know what? We don't kink shame. Cool. Do whatever you want to do.
Interesting.
Yeah, do whatever the hell your body wants to do. I am nothing if not a kink shamer. Wait, nope.
It's not a kink shamer. I am nothing but not a kink shamer.
You could just say, I am not a kink shamer.
I would like to put it on record. I am not a kink shamer. Me putting my like hands on the Bible because America.
On the Bible.
Religious. Never heard of it?
On the Torah.
Right. Very good. Very good. Book of Mormon even. Let's get that in there.
Yeah, for sure.
What lately, or like give us a sneak peek of your, you know, episode coming out of like kind of wild. I saw one thing and then I want to hear your wild thing. I saw one wild thing on your whatever TikTok, which is like really conservative people just posting really insane pictures of like the wives in like a kennel being like, we're expecting a new pup or whatever the fuck. Like what's
the breeder?
What the fuck?
I thought you were
going
to mention the finally peace on earth one. Did you see?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand. It's giving
you cover that one. You cover that one, Simone. I'll cover this one. Basically, the image that DB is so beautifully describing was something that we found from one of our episodes where we reacted to the Instagram account Hetero Cringe, which basically is an Instagram account that cringes at heterosexual people. And one of these images was two farmers, the wife in the stable where they keep cows, and him with a plastic glove that they use to breed cows. And they posted on their Facebook saying, she's finally bred. ready to have another cowboy.
Boy, all caps. Cowboy.
Boy, all caps. Cowboy.
It was a gender reveal, perhaps.
It was a gender. It was a gender reveal. Huge. 2 for 2.
So good.
Yeah. So that was the situation there. And that's the prime example of bubble. I'm like, what?
I'm like, what the fuck?
And their family is like good work. Like they're happy about that.
Their Facebook friends
they
are
put
like,
the work.
go off. They're like, this was so good. And then if anybody says anything against it, it's like, God, these fucking liberals. And it's like, oh my God.
Right. Which is
human rights.
Wild.
So which was hand in hand with Simone's. Yeah, here she goes.
Yeah, there was another Facebook again, of a bunch
belongs
of different
to our
families.
Parents and the conservatives
and holiday cards, actually. Holiday cards.
Oh yes, these are holiday cards.
Yeah.
They might have been like e-cards and like they probably printed them out because you know that Jen. So they all did photo shoots. Like, I don't know if it was the same neighborhood. I don't know if they just saw each other and thought it was a trend. But these families would do photo shoots where there would always be, I feel like, always a father, of course, a mother, and then a female child. And then sometimes there will be like a little boy in the picture too. Like, or it could just be like a man and like a man, a wife, and his 2 girls, whatever. They tied them up with Christmas lights and then taped their mouths shut. And then the like caption to it was finally
holding a sign.
Oh, yeah. Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that was the fun thing. It was so many families. It was like 6 different families all doing this, which was also incredible that I was like, these people, first of all, not even have an original idea, plagiarism, but also like they saw other people doing this crazy thing to their children, setting an insane example for your daughters and your sons.
And your sons, both.
And then being like, oh my God, they did that. That's so funny. I'm going to do that too.
Oh my God. And I feel like these people have guns in the background. Like this is the whole genre that we're talking about. Oh, wow. Okay.
Insane. Yeah.
That is wild. Say a little teaser to a future episode that's actually coming out next week. So it may be coming out the week that this podcast is released.
Oh yeah.
Will be, which is so interesting. And this goes into like everything we've been talking about not kink shaming. We are reviewing a episode or a documentary about a woman who marries the Eiffel Tower, and we talked about objectophilia, which is a whole sexuality of people that are sexually attracted to objects. And you know what's funny? All the TikToks, and we talk about this, are always like, "What? So crazy! Like, oh my God, she's having sex with a fence." But we watched it after having watched so many different things, and we're like, we kind of get it. Well, hold on.
It's wrong.
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
It's like, I kind of get it. It's like this object is, first of all, you're not hurting anyone, so we're not going to judge.
Sure.
Do whatever the hell is going to bring you joy. We don't give a shit. Go off. Go. But also, we're like, the way that they describe it of like, I have these feelings, and you can tell like the object's never going to leave you. Like you can kind of project whatever feeling you want onto this object. Like it makes sense.
Like a fantasy.
Sure. And then our genius producer and Simone is one of the most genius people I've ever known in my entire life. Don't get it twisted. Was like, I feel like in some ways, certain men that I've had sex with, or certain men in general, are objectophilias when they treat women like objects. Like these women in this documentary are treating objects like objects.
Yes.
But then there are men in real life who treat women like objects. So why are we treating little Missy for treating an object like an object?
Like an object.
Fascinating.
Men are treating women like objects. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, sure, far-fetched perhaps. We're pulling, but sure.
Yeah.
This is fascinating though.
It was because of the way I'm like, DB, sex therapist, I'm sure you know. Or like,
I know.
You, sex educator. I don't have a therapist.
I was like, let me not do you.
We'll give you one.
Sex educator.
All good.
The way that she was talking about how like, she was talking about how she has sex with these objects. And the person was like, well, how do you think the object feels? And she was like, I don't know, but I had a good time. And that's when it occurred to me.
Yeah.
I was like, men
metaphor
speak like
or
that.
kind of like simile. No,
I was like, all men speak like that. Like, they're like, I think that there was like a survey done of college boys, and they're like, so, you know, when you have sex, how many times do you have an orgasm? And they're like, every time. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, so what about your partner? And they're like, I don't know. That's not my business.
Well, that's
none of my
the crazy thing too, is that this woman having sex with, at this point, a bow and arrow was like,
bow and arrow. Yes.
Was like,
She's great.
I orgasm. I orgasm. Well, not anymore. Every 7 years she moves on. She orgasms from every time from a bow and arrow. And I'm like, well, I've had sex with partners where I haven't orgasmed. So that's
I thought you were like, well, I've had sex with a bow and arrow.
Well, why does the bow and arrow?
But also, like, people have sex with sex toys that are objects, and they have sex with themselves, and they have sex with themselves. So
we then looked up this. There was a sex doctor who came on the Tyra show who was talking about this and is saying that this is a valid sexuality. And she created this whole graph. We'll send it to you, DB. I don't know off the top of my head. Starting from sex objects being the least on the spectrum of just being something that you use, and like gradually more and more like sex dolls, sex toys. Yes. Yeah. Different. Yes. Did I say sex objects?
It's the same. It's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I
here's my sex object.
Sex objects.
I mean, that's what you call them, whatever.
Sure.
This is interesting. And then we got to move on to back to swipe talk. But this is interesting. You guys are doing great. But this is like interesting to me because if you want to also talk about like the asexuality spectrum, like there are people who are not interested, you know, all the way on one side of the spectrum, zero sex, not interested at all, not with myself, not with a partner. On the other side, you know, of course it's a spectrum. So like if you're someone who only likes having sex with yourself and only likes using sex toys to do that, that is a typical way that we talk about a normal sexuality. So it is a spectrum.
Yes, I love that.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that people can be so judgmental about other people's sexual orientations, other people's sexualities, because unless you're having sex with them, it has nothing to do with you. And even if you are having sex with them, it still is nothing to do with you. Someone's hammering something, but it's just crazy because
it's all good.
I wonder if there's something that's like, I wonder if it's like an insecurity coming from yourself about like I'm so curious where that stems, that like anger and that judgment when it is like, I could give you a brief idea. I mean, I don't know if y'all have seen the Netflix docuseries called The Principles of Pleasure, but I was featured in it. So very fun.
Shout out. We will go watch it tonight.
It's a simple plug. It's a 3-part docuseries. Each part's like 45 minutes to 50 minutes or something like that. And it's all about like pleasure, mostly for people with vulvas, like for women, for non-binary people, for trans people. And it, you know, in that docuseries, they talk about how, you know, sex, heterosex is so penis-centric, so that if cis men have anything to say about it, they're like, well, no, if we're not using penises, then it's not sex. And the reality is sex involves so much more than just the penis. And I think that is, you know, part of that issue. But back to swipe talk here, because we got a lot of things to say. I want to know, like, okay, what are 3 tips or whatever your top tip that you have for people who are listening, who do use dating apps and they want to make their dating profile less shitty and more spicy? What would you
sitting up?
You're getting prepped.
We'll each give 2. We'll each give 1.
Great.
Yeah, or whatever.
I
have 2 right off the top of my head.
Okay, you go for your 2. I'll go for my 1. If you take one of mine, I'll kill you.
Oh boy.
Okay, dope. Hopefully I'll telepathically read your mind and know like which ones. Once I'm now back on the apps, so I now have a stronger feeling of what irritates me and what doesn't work once again. This is really small and petty, so I'll just say it really quickly. I really don't like when like straight men that like take social media seriously, like when they like post their TikToks on their effing Tinders. That is the most cringe effing ick I have ever in my life. I hate it. Wow. And that might just be a personal thing. It was like every single slide is just like one of your thirst trap TikToks. cut it out. Second of all, sorry, that wasn't even one of my two. Okay.
That's
not
okay.
That was just a note about
super quick. So annoying. The first one, do not make your bio a list of things that should not make people match with you. Like people will be like, don't match if you're not going to text back. Don't match if you're not 5'2". Don't match if you're not. Shut the fuck up.
Sure.
Like,
so negative.
You're supposed to be selling yourself. You're not supposed to be telling other people what's wrong with them. What?
What? That is one of my biggest pet, because I have been close to matching many a man, and then they ruin it with their bio. Like, ew.
Then they ruin it with their personality.
Thank you for warning me up front, though.
Yeah.
And then I would say,
maybe we shouldn't be giving you these tips. Keep it secret.
The second one would definitely be photos. Like, I stop no masks on for the majority of your photos. Like, I can't see who you are. Stop giving me like far away, like mystical, like artsy shots. I need to see your face. I don't care if you feel like it's cringy for you to take a selfie. If you literally have nothing else but just like far away pictures, I can't see your face. I need to see your face. I need to see your face. But like not taking on like a microwave. Like maybe like wipe off your camera, just the little the front facing and the back facing.
So you're gonna say on a micro penis. Which, by the way, DP, I want to ask you about, do you have information on micro penises?
Micro penises? Have you had sex with micro penises? Sorry, that was too far. And now
I personally have not had sex with someone who has a micro penis. I'll just put that on the record. Not like anything is wrong with that.
Right.
In terms of information, I don't really know what kind of information. Maybe we can table that.
Yeah, we'll do it.
She's obsessed with micro penises.
Let's take it back. Let's take it back. I'm not obsessed with micro penises. I want to put on the record I'm not obsessed with micro penises, because the people in the Swipe Talk community have really ran with that narrative.
Okay.
I am obsessed with the notion that you should be confident and comfortable in your body no matter what. And I believe that micro penises is the community that I have chosen to
advocate for.
Stand up for.
To advocate for. Thank you. Yes. That's exactly for this platform, because I'm like,
a voice for the voiceless. That's
a voice for the voiceless.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So
I agree. I would say that, yes, if you are someone who has a micro penis or knows someone with a micro penis, not like you would know that unless you're sleeping with that person.
Right.
Maybe like understand that there are more parts to sex and experiencing pleasure than the penis. All the more reason to experience fingers, the mouth, sex toys, lots of different ways to gain pleasure from that.
Yes. And sex is a lot more than just
in and out.
This typical in and out. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say for my tip, is this okay, Simone?
Keep going. We're good.
No.
My point was, which was beautifully set up by Simone talking about her icks for the TikToks, is what I will say to you out there. Anybody that's listening, whoever you are, whoever you're attracted to, it does not matter. This rule is across the board. Don't try to be anybody but yourself. Because in the same way, Simone and I are attracted to very different types of people. So if you are trying to be very cool, but that's like different things are going to appeal to different people. So Simone, if you're going to be like very like, if you're very attractive, Simone will be attracted to you. What? That's what I was going to say. No. But there are different traits that Simone will be like, oh, that gives me the ick, like the TikToks, where I'm like, oh, that's funny, whatever. Or there are traits that Simone's like, oh my God, I love this man. He's so hot. And I'll be like, I would never swipe on that. So that's why it's like when you're hearing, and I think that this happens a lot with TikTok in general, because everyone's just like talking about their opinions and preferences as they should, but never take anything as like a big blanket statement. Like, girls don't like guys who blank, or, people don't like people that XYZ. Make sure to show your personality and be true to yourself, because the more yourself you are, yes, you're going to weed out a lot of people by being strongly yourself, but it's going to be that much easier to find the right people. You're going to save a lot of time being like, rather than if you're pink, like don't be a pale pink, be like a hot pink fuchsia pink. And you're going to be so grateful for it, because then everyone's going to be like, oh, that's pink. I want pink, or I don't want pink.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah. I think like I used to be on the dating apps. I've been in a monogamous relationship that has been closed for almost 6 years now.
Congratulations.
Wow. Oh my God.
Live with my partner.
I mean, or whatever. Why am I saying congratulations? Like it's a prize for a woman to be in a relationation. I'm sorry. I take that back.
That's awesome though. No, I'm saying
I think it's like a both end thing of like, oh yeah, exactly. Like if you're happy, congrats, that's fun. But also it doesn't, you're not required to have that for happiness. I think it's a both end.
Totally.
But thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think this has been one of the more silly, chaotic, very fun episodes that we have had. And I am so happy to have had you both on. I want to know, we have other questions. Maybe we can do like a fun, like TikTok live or something and answer, because I wanted to talk about your guys' dating life. Ooh, fun. So maybe we can do that in like a TikTok live or do something offline. So if you loved Simone and Isabella just like I did, they're going to tell you where people can find you both. So share where people can get your content.
Sure. So for Swipe Talk, you can find us on Instagram at Swipe Talk Show. You can find us on TikTok at Swipe Talk. On the Snapchat Discover page, search Swipe Talk. And then for us personally,
don't forget Swipe Talk TV.
Go ahead, plug it.
We also have a platform called Swipe Talk TV where we post long form content and just like content that you just won't get. Like kind of like think of it like a kind of like a Patreon, but like a specialty like Patreon just for
Yeah.
Isabella, do you want to plug yours?
Yeah. I was going to try to plug yours. I was going to say, you can follow, tell me if I'm right or wrong. You can follow Simone on TikTok at Simone Nicole, right?
Yes.
And then you can follow Simone on Instagram at Simone_Nicole, or is it Simone Nicole __?
That's it.
Simone Nicole __. Okay. And Isabella, where can people find you?
I was going to say there's.
Find me, Simone?
No, but you missed one.
Simone Nicole on YouTube.
There you go.
Ooh,
that's the big one, you guys. That's the important one. She's a beauty influencer. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yes. Okay. YouTube, Simone Nicole. Got it.
Simone Nicole YouTube. And then you can find Isabella at Isabella_Marano, right? On Instagram. And then Cadet Belly on TikTok.
Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Is that like a Cadet Kelly reference?
Yes, it is. Thank you for picking up on that.
Wow, really important Disney Channel original movie. Thank you so much for making that your personality. Simone and Isabella, it has been so fantastic. Thank you both for laughing with me and us just dicking around on this podcast. I've had the best time and can't wait to do some more stuff with you after this episode. So thank you.
Thank you. So nice we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for having us on here.
Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror and think, damn, my part is fine art? Well, Clone-A-Willy definitely thinks so. Made in Portland, Oregon, Clone-A-Willy makes for the most personalized sex toy on the planet, and Clone-A-Pussy makes for the most unique memento. Their mission is to create unique, affordable, and high-quality products that will not only last over the years, but provide their customers with a fun and memorable experience. Use promo code SEXED with DB20 for 20% off at cloneawilly.com. Let's talk about lube and condoms. Something important to know is that oil-based lube is not to be used with condoms because the oil can cause the condom to break or tear, which would defeat the purpose of using it. Thank goodness for Uberlube. Uberlube is latex compatible, so it's safe and effective to use with condoms. But wait, there's more. Dispensing 2 drops of Uberlube inside a condom and a measured pump outside will increase pleasure. What are you waiting for? Use code SEXEDWithDB for 15% off at uberlube.com. 7 years ago, I was gifted my first ever vibrator. It was a Rabbit Vibe, and I was immediately in love with it and the pleasure it gave me. Having a bit of experience with Rabbit Vibes over the last 7 years, I am absolutely stoked to tell you about an amazing one from Fun Factory. Miss Bai from Fun Factory is the dual vibrator you've been dreaming of, with a powerful German-engineered motor that gives you super strong vibrations. Follow Fun Factory on IG at Fun Factory USA and use code SEXEDWithDB for 15% off your new favorite German Rabbit Vibe. Our creator, host, EP, and sound engineer is me, Danielle Bezalel, aka DB. Our co-producer and communications lead is Cathren Cohen. Our music theme is by Hook Sounds, and our ad music is by my stepdad, Bill Gant. Thank you so much to our featured guests, partners, and our listeners. Want to advertise with us? Email us at sexedwithdb@gmail.com. For more sex ed content, follow us on IG at sexedwithdbpodcast and on TikTok at sexedwithdb. See you next time.